Hi, this is John and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, I'm here to discuss a brand new 2025 movie, Companion.
There was just a spark.
And boy, I want to say I am really excited. I'm fresh out of the theater. Just saw this movie less than an hour ago. Pleasantly surprised about how good this movie is. Companion is a 2025 American science fiction horror comedy film starring Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. A couple on a weekend getaway with friends in a remote cabin. It ravels into chaos after people start turning up dead. I wanted to do this review in two parts. The first part, I just wanted to give a very basic, spoiler-free reaction to the movie. And what I want to say is that this movie was great. I really enjoyed it. Sophie Thatcher was amazing. Jack Quaid was great as well.
The first was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris. And the second, the day I killed him.
This movie takes some of the most typical horror tropes and spins them around in new ways. It gives a fresh spin on things that we've seen before, but in a different and new and fresh and fun way. Another great thing about this movie was it had a great soundtrack. There was some great old songs, some newer songs mixed with songs from as far back as into the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then stuff that might have been released closer to today. So I'm going to recommend that if you haven't seen Companion yet, to go out to the theater and go see it. Pause this video and hopefully you'll come back after it's done, because I'm going to get into spoilers and talk about the story behind this movie and everything that I loved about it. If you're still here, I'm assuming that you want to talk spoilers on this movie. Companion, I had not heard anything about it. I did not know that it was coming. Early in the week, I saw a couple people on YouTube posting that it was coming out, and I looked up in my theater and saw it was coming out this Friday. So it's only Saturday, it's only been out a day, and I decided to go see it, and I actually saw it in IMAX. And the funny thing was, on the way into the theater, I was looking at the poster, and Sophie Thatcher's wearing like this pink beret, and she's all in pink. And I'm like, this movie, and it's called Companion, and I thought, this movie really sounds like
Chick flick.
a romantic comedy that, you know, the poster and the girl's eyes were white, and I'm like, what's that about? But, you know, I just disregarded it. I said, this looks like it's going to be good. So this movie reminded me of the combination of like Bicentennial Man meets Megan meets like Scream. It just seems to have all these components of great movies from the past. And Sophie Thatcher plays Iris, and she has a boyfriend who's played by Jack Quaid, and his name is Josh. And Iris and Josh are going on this weekend getaway.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris.
Into the woods, like in this rustic cabin, and it starts off, they're in a car and they're on the way, and I guess Iris is having memories of when they first met, and they had met in a grocery store and they had love at first sight. The movie opens and she makes this comment.
2 moments in my life when I was happiest. The first was the day I met Josh, and the second, the day I killed him.
Oh my gosh. So she kills him. I'm like, we're learning that immediately, right out the gate, that, you know, she's gonna kill him. But they show up at this cabin, and there's some other characters there. There's a gay couple there, and the one chubbier one, he kind of reminded me of the kid from Taro, and I thought, oh gosh, please tell me he's not going to be like that character. And he turns out to be better than that. He actually turns out to be a pretty fun character. And then there's this other girl there who's got this older boyfriend who, it's his house, and he's like this middle-aged man who's super rich and cheating on his wife, and he's got this young girlfriend on the side, and they're all converging at this rustic cabin to... It turns out that there is a sinister plan between some of these folks. Iris goes down to the lake, and she's with this the older gentleman, and he starts being really weird. He's all of a sudden he takes off his shirt and he wants to get suntan lotion put on by her, and it instantly goes into one of those, this is about to go left real quick between him and her, and it does. I mean, he's pushing for what he wants with her, and she doesn't want it because she loves Josh. Josh is her boyfriend, and they're in love, and she wants nothing to do with this older man. And he ends up stabbed to death by Iris. And the next thing you know, she's running back up to the cabin, and she's like bloody and got the knife in her hand, and like, let me explain what happened. You know, he was aggressive and this and that. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, and I had no idea this was coming, Josh, Randy Quaid's character, or Jack Quaid, Jack Quaid's character runs up to her and he's like, Iris, shut down. And all of a sudden, her eyes go white, and I'm like, what?
Iris, wake up.
What are you doing? Shut her down already.
What is she talking about, Josh?
Oh, this was, the first twist, and if you didn't see the preview, and I went in without seeing any previews or hardly reading anything on this, I didn't know that this was going to be about a robot, that she was a robot, and all of a sudden she shuts down, and they're like conversating, like the other Jack Quaid and the other people in this cabin are conversating about, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going to have to call the police, he's like, your robot killed him. And, at first you think it was unplanned, but then it turns out it was planned. So back up a little bit. Jack Quaid and the young girl the other young girl who's there, they were planning this. They wanted her to kill him because he's super rich and there's like $12 million hidden in the safe in this house. So there's the motivation of why they wanted to kill him. She was just, the girl was just her boy toy. These robots, they're called companions because they're like glorified blow-up dolls or sex bots. I mean, it's weird to say that, but it's what they were. These robots were designed to be companions for their partners. So Josh wakes up Iris and tells her, you're a robot, you're my companion. And she's thinking, like, I have memories and I have a life and I went on vacations and stuff. And he starts to tell her, no, these are all program memories, you're a robot. And if you want to know how we really met, I ordered you through Amazon and you got delivered and set up, and I had to program you. And that's where the comedy comes in a little bit. But Sophie Thatcher's character Iris, like, she really believed, like, she didn't know she was a robot. So these companions, they don't know that they're robots. And the thing about the robots is that they are programmed, and they can only operate within the way they're being programmed. And everything that she can do and the other robot can do, the other companion robot can do, is based on through the phones. But she manages to escape away from them with his phone, and she starts taking control of herself.
Wow, Josh.
And reprogram herself to be more aggressive and to do things. But there's a few things about that they set up, and I think they did a good job of setting up the rules in this movie of how these companion robots operate. And one of the primary things is the companion robots can never lie. So everything that Sophie says, everything that Iris says is the truth. So that comes into play a lot because they'll ask her questions and she'll have to answer truthfully. I just thought that this movie really was played out so well. I mean, every time I kept thinking it was going in a certain direction, they would pull out another punch. So first I learned that, Iris was the robot, and next thing you know is the other guy's a robot, and then the next thing you know, a policeman shows up and he gets murdered, and then another character gets killed, and every time someone's getting killed, you're not expecting them to get killed, and they're trying. It's kind of like this cat and mouse in this wilderness on the mountains, where Iris is trying to get back to home so she can figure out what she's gonna do to get away from Josh, and the other girl, they just want to get this all swept under the rug so that they can basically get away with it and run off with the money. But everything starts getting out of hand. People start dying. Other people are showing up unannounced. You know, the police officer shows up unannounced. And there was just some really great parts. I mean, this movie made me laugh. It made me feel tension. There was tension in parts. There was this great tense part where Iris gets into a car and she's telling the car to drive home, but the car is not recognizing her voice, so she's able to adjust her voice to try and match Josh's voice to get the car to listen to her. Meanwhile, Jack Quaid is standing outside the door of the car, and he's pounding on the door trying to get in to get to her. And then employees from the companion bot company show up, and they're there to recover these companion robots. So Josh comes to learn that his companion bot has been recording the entire situation, so his plan is really gone to waste. At the end, so the company for the companion bots has showed up, after the police have showed up, everything's gone left, and Iris is trying to get back to home so she can find her own way to freedom, her own freedom away from Josh. And Josh is just trying to clean up this mess and get off with the money. And companion bot employees had taken Iris into their van, and they're reprogramming her. In all the chaos that's ensuing, and as everyone's battling and trying to survive this night, she gets one of the companion robot employees to give her a chance to reprogram herself so she can be independent from Josh, that character. So once she does that, then it really becomes on. And this movie just had me engaged the whole time. I thought it was funny, it was exciting, it was a good story with lots of twists and turns. And so when I found out Sophie Thatcher was going to be in this movie, I was pretty excited. I had seen her in the movie Heretic, and that had made my top 10 list of the year 2024. So her being back so early in the year 2025 was great, and she really carried this movie and shined well in this movie, playing many facets of the companion robot. And Jack Quaid playing Josh, the male lead in this movie. I mean, we all know him from being the Ghostface Killer in Scream 5, and I felt like I could see little similar characteristics of him in that movie and this movie, and I loved him in Scream 5, so I figured that the two of them together were going to be really great, and they were. They were a good duo. They were good companions for each other in this movie, and I really like them. So I'm going to be looking out for both of them in any of their future movies. So in my movie comparisons, we had talked about how I had called the Wolfman movie a good burger, because it was, it met my basic needs for a good movie. It had the action, the suspense, and all. Well, I have one rating that I'm going to mark above that, which just, for me, it just goes beyond expectations of what I thought, and just nails it in every category, and it's better than a good burger. And companion is going to be what I call a cheeseburger in paradise.
Iris, wake up.
What are you doing? Shut her down already.
What is she talking about, Josh?
This movie was great. From start to finish, the excitement, the tension, the laughs, the sadness, the depth in the characters, the progression in the characters, just the fresh twist on the AI experience in the movies, which, it seems as though AI had been starting to get overdone with in the movies, but this movie really takes you down a different road with it. I mean, it totally beats out Afraid from last year's Blumhouse Afraid. I think it's better than Megan. I really like this take on the AI going amok in a movie. And I guess maybe me not knowing that this was going to be an AI movie when I walked into it, and that plot being a great twist for me during the movie, because I felt like, last year I'd seen a lot of movies with some, in the previews, it's just so much was getting spoiled. Like when I think of Abigail, knowing that Abigail was a vampire before, and the way the movie plays out where, like 20 minutes don't go by and it's not even revealed that she's a vampire until, well into the movie. And it's like, this could have been a great reveal had I not known that. I had that great experience when I watched From Dusk Till Dawn when I was very young. I did not know From Dusk Till Dawn was a vampire movie, and when it gets to that scene in the bar and all of a sudden they turn into vampires and I had no idea I was watching a vampire movie, that was a great twist. Somehow I managed back in the day to never see a preview From Dusk Till Dawn, and I had watched it one night on cable or whenever I watched it, someone rented it or whatever, and I was like, wow, what a great twist. So I'm glad that I didn't know that Companion was a robot movie. And I recommend you guys to see it. It's a great movie, and it's a cheeseburger in paradise. Thanks for watching. This is John with Good Burger Reviews. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.